Today, we're going to jump into a poem that might seem short, but wow, it packs a serious punch. It's called The Ball Poem by John Berryman. And yeah, on the surface, it's about a kid who loses his ball. But if we dig a little deeper, we're going to see it's really all about growing up and learning one of life's biggest, toughest lessons. But before we dive in, let me just ask you this. Think about it for a sec. Have you ever lost something that just crushed you? Maybe it wasn't worth a lot of money, like a beat-up toy or a gift from a friend, but losing it felt like the end of the world. Just try to remember that feeling, because that exact emotion is the key to unlocking this entire poem. All right, so the poem kicks off with a super simple, everyday moment. A boy loses his ball. The very first line just throws us right in there. The poet asks, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? It's like right away we're being asked to think about the boy's feelings and what this really means for him. And then we see exactly how it all went down. The poem paints this picture of the ball merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over, there it is in the water. You can almost see it, right? This happy, carefree moment just comes to a dead stop. And just like that, the ball and all the fun it represents is just gone. Okay, so this brings us to the real heart of the poem, the big question. A ball is cheap, right? You could get another one easily. So why is this kid so completely devastated? What is the big deal here? Let's figure that out. Well, the poem makes it super clear this is a huge deal. It's not just a little bit of sadness. The poet uses this incredible line. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. That phrase, shaking grief, tells you this isn't just an emotion. It's physical. It's something that's shaking him to his core. For him, this is a massive, world-changing experience. And his reaction just says it all. He's just standing there, completely still, rigid, trembling, staring down. But here's the thing, and this is so important. He's not just staring at a ball in the water. The poet tells us he's staring at all his young days, going right into the harbor with it. That ball was never just a piece of rubber. It was filled with his memories. It was a piece of his childhood. And this is where the poet, who's watching this whole thing, shows us how wise he is. He knows it would be totally pointless to go up to the boy and say, oh, there are other balls. Because he gets it. He understands that this moment is way bigger than a lost toy. Trying to fix it with a few words would just completely miss the point. This slide really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the lost ball. It stands for all his memories, his childhood, things you can never ever replace. And on the other side, a new ball you can just buy. But as the poem says, money is external. In this moment of pure personal loss, offering him a dime, another ball, is worthless. It's just not going to work. You can't buy back memories. So, in the middle of all this grief, something really important is happening. The boy is actually learning. For the very first time, he's starting to get what it means to own something, to care about it, and then to lose it. He senses first responsibility in what the poem calls a world of possessions. Now, the poet uses this really big, academic-sounding phrase to describe this whole lesson, the epistemology of loss. I know, it sounds super complicated, but all it really means is that he's learning the true meaning of loss. He's finding out what it actually feels like to lose something forever. And, more importantly, he's starting to figure out how to stand up after it happens. So what does it really mean to stand up after you lose something? Well, it's kind of like a process, right? First, you have to actually feel the pain and acknowledge that something is gone. Then, you have to understand that some things, especially things tied to memories, are gone for good. And finally, you learn to accept that and you find a way to keep going. This is a huge and totally necessary part of growing up. And the poem wraps up by making this whole thing universal. This isn't just about one kid and one ball anymore. He's learning something that every man must one day know. Every single one of us has to deal with loss in our lives, sometimes small things, sometimes huge things. And the real test, the skill we all have to learn, is just that, how to stand up. And there you have it. That's the incredible journey of the ball poem, from something as simple as a lost toy to a deep lesson about life and being resilient. And it kind of leaves us with a big question to think about. If this is a lesson we all have to learn, what was the first loss that started to teach it to you? It's a heavy thought for sure, but it's one this amazing poem brings to life so beautifully. Thanks for checking it out with me.